Welcome to the LynnCAM TV Show, a program which focuses on local organizations, municipalities, nonprofits, and issues affecting people within the city of Lynn.
Working for organizations that mostly did gang violence prevention.
This is, I will confess, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, this is my dream job, Sean.
I'm invested in the community, and I like to give back to a community that's given me so much.
We had focused on several sites initially.
Well, I think this is where Dave and I, do agree.
Welcome to the LynnCAM TV Show, where we focus on organizations and issues impacting the city of Lynn. Here with me today to discuss the new automated waste removal system that's going to be implemented here in Lynn. We have Andrew Hall, Commissioner of the DPW, and Michael Wall, Public Sector Representative of Waste Management. Gentlemen, thanks for being here. Before we get too much into the new system, let's talk a little bit about who you guys are and what you do. Andrew, we'll start with you.
I'm Andrew Hall. I'm the Commissioner of Public Works here in the City of Lynn.
Great.
Mike Wall, Public Sector Rep for Waste Management. I oversee the contract here in the City of Lynn.
So when it comes to buzzwords, would you guys agree that recycling's like top 3 of your priorities?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's a big part about what this show is. Before we get too much into their organizations and what this system's going to offer to you, we had them come down to LynnCAM and we developed a short PSA to highlight a demonstration on how the barrels will be picked up, what you should do with them, where you should leave them, and what may happen if you've actually overfilled your trash receptacle, how you can get trash bags and things like that. Let's go to that video right now.
Hello everyone, my name is Mike Wall. I am a representative from Waste Management, and we're here today to talk a little bit about the use and positioning of the new waste receptacles that are being delivered to all of you in Lynn over this last month. Beginning December 1st, the City of Lynn is automating their waste collection program. We have delivered 64-gallon and 96-gallon containers to all the residents of the City of Lynn. Those containers will begin to be used December 1st, 2014. During the month of November, Waste Management has been delivering a new set of recycling and trash carts to each one of the residents in the City of Lynn. Each resident has received a 64-gallon cart for trash and a 96-gallon cart for recycling. Your trash day and recycling day will remain the same. Placement of the cart is at the curb, close to the curb as possible, with the front side of the cart facing forward, handle back, both the recycling and trash cart. Keep about a 1.5 foot distance between the two carts to allow the arm to properly pick up the container. Residents have an option, if they feel that they're going to generate more trash, to rent an additional dumpster on an annual basis and/or recycling container on an annual basis. In addition to that, residents can purchase overflow bags, City of Lynn overflow bags, for $3 a piece. You can go to the Lynn City website to see the participating stores where the bags can be purchased. We recommend that people utilize overflow bags first, because in all likelihood, it'll only be those times of the year around the holiday season that you may generate more trash. In the event a resident is using overflow bags, they simply take the bag, if their trash container is full, and place the overflow bag on top of the container. It's also important to note that the trucks look similar. However, there is a different truck that picks up trash and a different truck that picks up recycling.
First TV appearance.
Yeah, my boss told me not to quit the day job.
He said stick to recycle and stay away from media. Don't hang out with that Sean kid too long. All right, so first question, a lot of people probably are asking this. What is automated waste removal, and why is the City of Lynn doing this?
First and foremost, to control costs, to make it easy and convenient to recycle, and to present a uniform appearance at the curb.
Okay, and it will make the city look a lot nicer. You know, there's nothing worse than when you wake up on trash day and you drive down the street and you see one guy's barrel tipped over and everything he had that week's in the street. So hopefully this is going to help out in keeping Lynn a little bit cleaner. Recycling is a big part of this. If you guys notice here, we've got our recycling cart, and then the smaller cart behind Mike is your trash receptacle. So the goal in that is to fill this one up before you fill up the smaller one. This is not supposed to begin. These have been delivered throughout November. But when's the start date? When can residents start using these things?
December 1st, the week of December 1st is when the program will start.
So December 1st is the launch date. Now, what can we expect?
December 1st, the residents will put the carts to the curb on their normal collection day. Collection days have not changed, so their recycling day is the same. It's every other week, and trash is once a week. So they'll wheel the cart to the curb as the video demonstrated, and we'll start collecting the carts as of December 1st.
So their schedules aren't going to change at all?
That's correct.
Awesome. Now, say somebody has their 64-gallon trash barrel, and 64 gallons isn't enough. What do? Can they fill up their own trash bags and leave them by? Have you guys implemented a system? What's the plan?
To answer your first question, you can't just put any barrel out. The waste that gets picked up needs to be in one of the official waste barrels.
Okay.
If you generate more waste than will fit in the 64-gallon cart, you can purchase an overflow bag. There are several vendors here in Lynn that sell those. Your best bet is to check the city website to find those. They have $3 a piece, 5 for $15. That's one option. The second option is to rent additional carts. You'll do that through Waste Management. The fee is $132 per year.
Okay. So you can actually rent an additional receptacle if you want. That's
either recycling or trash.
Excellent, awesome. You know, a lot of people are probably at home like, oh, well, why are there rates associated? But if you go around a lot of towns, even within the state of Massachusetts, but throughout America, a lot of the waste pickup isn't just included in the public works. It's something that they have to pay for, or if they bring their trash down to a dumpster. And I mean, we've got it pretty good. But I think the real point to take is not to see that $3 mark per trash bag, but really do the best that you can to use the trash that you've got and put it into the receptacle that you have, and wasting less. Less waste is a big part of this.
It's important to note, too, our experience around the state of Massachusetts is that people will, the ordinary household, 64 gallons is more than enough for trash on a weekly basis. So we would recommend that people really go the overflow bag route. It's typical that in and around holiday season is when you might generate a little bit more.
Yeah.
So we would encourage them to go the overflow bag route before renting another dumpster.
Yeah, the holiday season, I mean, for me, I mean, I'm sure for a lot of our viewers would agree, my trash bin is full every other day. So you do have more waste. I mean, even 4th of July, you're having parties, so it's good to know. So how do residents know what week their recycling falls on? I understand that we have a blue week versus a green week.
Just like the current scenario, the green weeks and the blue weeks. The bin, this is a green one here, it's based on the lid color.
Right.
If you have a green topped recycle bin, it gets picked up on the green week. If you have a blue topped recycle bin, it gets picked up on the blue week. Very similar to the old system.
Right, yeah.
And a resident can go to the city's website, and there's a calendar, I think we put it up on the screen, that they can see their green and blue week.
Right.
If they're not sure what week they are today, they can go and look, and they can see, and then their cart will correspond with the week that they're on.
It's an intuitive system. I mean, it's a simple change, but just putting a blue top on the barrel, I mean, it's easy to remember.
Yep.
I could never remember when I was blue or green week or what I was supposed to do, but I would just walk out and see, okay, everybody's got their recycling out, and just put mine out. I don't have to do that anymore. A couple more questions. One thing that's always been interesting to me is like what you can recycle. In the past, we've been able to develop television programs with ERC wipes, and recycling materials was a really big part of their business and their infrastructure. And I had learned that you could recycle clothes and shoes, but on a consumer basis, for what you guys are trying to achieve, what can residents recycle?
On the top of each one of the recycling containers is an InMold label, which actually, I think we have a copy up on the screen. It shows exactly what you can and cannot recycle. It's all single stream recycle, so everything goes into the container. We would urge and tell people, please, please, please don't put it in plastic bags. Just put the material right into the container. If you have corrugated containers that are a little larger, you can cut them up and put them in, because it is important to note that all of the material needs to be in the container to be serviced.
Okay. Now everybody can see this up on the screen right now. It'd be interesting to gain a little perspective, because everybody knows that you can recycle, but there are some things that you can't recycle, and this may have changed, but one thing that I remember from the past is you can't recycle soiled pizza boxes. Are there any big no-nos on top of your head that like people should not recycle?
Well, I think, and I'm going to have to put my glasses on to do this.
No
but,
sweat. Yeah, I mean, definitely when it comes to recycling, I mean, it's a bit of an extra effort. But what you're doing is you're participating in a bigger scheme of things. So for me, it's easy to kind of take a step back and look at the big picture and see myself as a small part of something big. And I'm hoping that the rest of the city jumps on board with this. Go ahead.
And obviously, the first big no-no is no trash, no garbage into the recycling container. But then we have no plastic bags. Again, no food waste. Yard waste, please. Although people perceive it to be compostable, and it is, you don't want to put it into the recycling container.
What do people do with their yard waste?
Yard waste, we pick up yard waste several times a year in the fall and in the spring. You can use your old trash barrels as yard and leaf waste, and they get picked up with a separate truck and brought to a separate facility.
Yeah, one of the things that was highlighted in the video is that there's going to be a different truck for recycling and a different truck for trash pickup. So that means that you're going to have two trucks coming by.
And a different truck for yard and leaf waste.
Yeah, I mean, streamline recycling, that's the name of the game. So I mean, that one of these trucks is just going to be filled with all yard waste. One of them is going to be filled with just all recycling. The other one's just going to be filled with waste, making the process a little bit easier. I think nowadays you've got two different trucks that pick them up, but yard and waste is just something that they dump in. I wanted to talk a little bit about bulky items. So yard waste, they can use their old barrels, put their yard waste in there, an additional truck will come to pick those up.
Well, actually, yeah, that we would encourage that they use their old barrels for the yard waste going forward. But if a resident wants to get rid of their old barrels, we are sponsoring a 2-week collection period. They can bring, the first 2 weeks of December, they can bring their old barrels down to the DPW department. There are times that are listed on the city website, but for the first 2 weeks of December, a resident can bring their old barrel down to the DPW yard, and the plastic barrels are going to be recycled.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Now, would there be any reason why these guys would want to keep the barrels? I mean, these things are really nice, they're huge, they're big. What would be some reasons why, other than yard waste? I mean, they're allowed to keep barrels, is basically what I'm trying to get at. They just can't use them for pickup.
That's correct.
Okay. Unless they're filled with yard waste.
Okay. So.
And unless it's a designated yard waste pickup day.
Right, okay. So that makes sense. Bulky items is something that I've struggled with in the past, whether it be a TV or a couch or a mattress. Say somebody's got some bulky items. Can they leave their mattress on the side of the street with their recycling and trash?
That's something that's changed from the current setup to the new system. The new system, bulk items, you're going to have to make an appointment with Waste Management for a pickup. Okay. And it costs $20 per item.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So that's a change from the old system. You mentioned televisions. Televisions, that's a separate ball of wax. Televisions can be dropped off on Tuesdays at the DPW, and the fee for those are $15 a piece.
Okay.
Televisions are $15. You can bring propane tanks down. Those are $5, and fluorescent light bulbs, we take it no charge.
Yeah, that's a big one. You know, fluorescent light bulbs. It's easy to toss them in the trash, but I mean, it makes a huge impact in your environment. So bring them down. That's a free service that they offer. If you've got fluorescent light bulbs and they're old, bring them down, get them recycled, take care of it the right way. Think of the kids.
Also, I might just another point regarding bulk pickup. If the resident does not want to make an appointment and have it done, they can go. There are 3 dumpster days which the city sponsors on behalf of the residents, which they can bring bulky material to the DPW yard at no charge.
Oh.
So they have two options. They can call Waste Management for an appointment and we'll pick up the bulk item. There will be a charge for that.
Okay.
Or they can wait for one of the dumpster days and they can bring it to the DPW yard themselves and dump it for nothing.
Oh, wow,
So if
okay.
you have to get rid of it right away, it's going to cost you $20.
Okay.
Otherwise, there's one in the spring, one in the summer, one in the fall.
So if budget's an issue for you guys at home, getting rid of your bulky items actually won't cost you if you don't mind holding on to it for a couple extra months, maybe weeks, depending on what time of the year it is. But you can bring them on down and you can get rid of them for free. Awesome, awesome stuff to know. Now, old barrels, we discussed that. Now, these barrels, one thing that's important, they don't belong to residents. They belong to the city of Lynn, right?
That's right, yep.
All right. So say if one of these barrels go missing or they're stolen, I mean, what does a resident do in that instance?
Mike, you can answer that.
If someone takes or your barrel disappears or your carts disappear, you need to report it to the police. You need to call the DPW department, and you may be responsible for replacing those containers.
Okay.
They are assigned to with identification numbers to each residential household. So they're actually assigned to that particular household. So if a resident should move, they shouldn't take the dumpster with them or the cart with them. Wherever they move, if they stay within the city of Lynn, there is another set of carts assigned to the property that they're going to.
Okay.
Yeah, we encourage people to paint their numbers, their address on the barrels, in case you live in a
Yeah.
dense area and there's lots of barrels. You know
Yeah.
which ones are yours to bring in. And,
Especially on a windy day, I mean, these things are pretty stand up. I mean, there's not a lot you can do, move them if you do it the right way. But it's not like everybody can read the numbers and know, oh yeah, that's number 42 of this street.
yeah, people can paint their
put their address
right on it. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so that's encouraged. Definitely an important part of it. Make sure you keep your barrels. That way, if you see your barrel when you live on Western Ave and it's on Boston Street, you know who to call. That was taken from you. So let's talk a little bit about. So we talked a little bit about moving. We had some questions from the field. Now, what if some cars are parked in front of the trash receptacles? This is an automated system, so what we saw from the video is there's a big arm that comes out and picks them up. But and it's ironic because when we were shooting our piece outside, we had a guy just come park right in front of us. Excuse me, we were trying to do something here. He's like, I'll be out in a minute. And it's like, all right, what happens in that situation?
Well, the truck, you might recall from the video, the truck is a dual drive truck, and the driver will be driving on the street side of the vehicle, and it's a low entry vehicle, so he can exit and enter the vehicle very, very conveniently. And what he will do is he will go to an area where he can collect the containers, and if he has to move them, he will to that area, and then he'll dump the containers, and he'll leave them in that area. So if a resident's putting the container in an inaccessible area for him, after a couple of weeks, they'll kind of get it because he'll continue to move it.
Right.
And then he'll leave it where he moved it, and then they'll figure out that that's where he wants it.
Yeah, it's like communication through time almost.
Right.
That's an interesting concept because people just put their barrels up. They don't think about this. There's a guy working and he's picking these up. So it's important that we think about the next guy. So when you leave your barrels out, take notice as to where they end up, because that's where you should end up leaving your barrels for pickup. So also snow. Snow's a big part of being a Lynner, being in the North Shore, being in the Northeast. Say you've got a lot of snow. Snowbanks have piled up, they're hard. What do you do if your barrels can't be put right on the curb?
We actually ask that the resident clear out an area that they can put the carts in. In more often than not, it's closer to a driveway if there is a driveway, by the mouth of the driveway, to clear out an area where you can put the containers. Yeah. Obviously, we do not want people, we don't want them now putting a bag of trash on the top of a snowbank. We certainly don't want them trying to push a cart on top of a snowbank. So, we're asking the residents that they clear out an area that the containers can be in.
Now, one of the things and I used to do this, and I'm sorry because I know it made you guys' job more difficult, but when there was a big snowbank, I just put it in front of the snowbank on the street. That's probably a big no-no because this arm's going to come out. We don't want to impede traffic. So clear out a spot. Definitely clear out a spot. It's important that you don't try to climb your barrel on the top of a snowbank. It's going to help out in the long run. So additional info. There's probably a lot out there. Launch date for this is December 1st. Are residents going to receive any additional info from today till then?
Yes, actually, next week, I don't know if you can get a shot of this, but this is a 6-panel brochure. We already sent out a postcard to the residents, kind of highlighting the process and the date. But in and around November 20th, this is going to be in the mail to the residents of the city of Lynn, and it basically covers all the things we talked about here today. There's questions and answers, do's and don'ts, what can be recycled, what can't.
Okay, so now there's the calendar. I noticed the calendar's in there.
Yeah, I can interrupt. It's a good idea to hang on to this thing because this will determine, you can tell at a glance if you're a green week or a blue week, and, pin it in your garage, your back hall, or wherever, so you can refer to it when you forget which week you are for recycling.
Absolutely. And it's easy to forget stuff. I mean, like, it's not at the top of everybody's head, like when I have to.
Yeah, with a larger container, it may take a little longer to fill it. And, you may get off sync and take a look at the calendar and.
Yeah, that does happen. That's a good point to make. Without a doubt, Andy, because you'll have your barrel and you're like, don't recycle enough, or maybe you don't have enough products to recycle, and you're like, I don't need to bring it out this week. I got enough. I could wait another 2 weeks. And then you're like, when is that week again? Good point. Yeah, definitely, without a doubt.
Yeah, so hang on to the calendar.
Hang on to the calendars. And they're mailed out too. I mean, I've got one on my fridge. Now that we've got the green and the blue, I'll be able to tell when I should be able to put those out there. If you're just joining us, what we're talking about right now is the new automated trash pickup system that's going to be implemented here in the city of Lynn. The real goal of this is to help Lynn waste less. Right now, in the city of Lynn, we are among some of the top tier wasters. And it's important to acknowledge that what we need to do is take some responsibility and hold ourselves accountable in creating less waste. And these guys have been so gracious, and their organizations have been so kind to actually help us do this. So there's a lot that needs to be done on our end, but it should be an easy system to get in with. I just want to kind of reiterate some things that we kind of talked about before that maybe some of our new viewership hasn't had. December 1st is the deadline. This is when it starts. So if you have your barrels right now, don't use them. Now,
if you haven't received your barrels, if I may.
Yes, that's a good one.
Please call the DPW, and we'll square you away with a set of containers.
Okay. Now, if you're in a situation where you have extra trash, there are these overflow bags. This is a smart system to do. I mean, one thing that you want to do is take the initiative to help people waste less. So you don't want to give them 2 huge cots, apologize for the accent. But if they have extra trash, where can they get these bags? On the City of Lynn's website.
They go on the City of Lynn website, and they'll see all the participating vendors. There's roughly 30 stores around the City of Lynn who will be selling these bags. And they can go and they can buy the bags, and then they can use them. It's important to note that everybody understand that if the material is not in the cart with the lid closed or in an authorized overflow bag, it will not be collected.
Okay. One thing that was pretty interesting to me, and it always will be, is what we can and can't recycle. We can recycle, they're on the top of your barrels at home. You guys will have a chart as to what you can recycle and what you cannot. He actually has a copy of it right now. It'd be great if we could pull one up on the screen. There it is right there. So you can see right here from this illustration, there's a great description as to what you can recycle and what you cannot. If you have bulk items, you can absolutely schedule a time for the DPW to come pick them up. It's going to cost you $20 if you need to get rid of it then and there. If you're a frugal recycler or waster, what you can do is wait till waste day and you can bring it down on your own for no cost at all. Mike, looks like you have something to add.
Yeah, we do. It's on the InMo label. It's in English and in Spanish. But if a resident speaks another language, they can go to the city website. There is a Google translator, and they can go to the trash site, and the brochures and the information will be translated for them.
Awesome.
in the language that they speak. So, and I think there was, gosh, it was 15 or 16 different languages when I looked at the translator.
Awesome. All right. That's important for Lynn because we've got a lot of different
Yep.
languages to speak, Englishes to speak. Great. So, I mean, we've pretty much hit the nail on the head with this one. Obviously, what we're trying to achieve here is less waste. And it's up to you, Lynn. You're a part of this now. So while you're throwing something away, take some extra consideration. Can I recycle this? If you're curious in whether or not you can, take a look at the pamphlet that they're going to be sending out to you. December 1st is the deadline. That's when we're going to start this process. Remember to put your barrels at the edge of the curb so that this automated system can come in and pick those up. Guys, I want to thank you for being on. We've got Andrew Hall and Mike Wall. You guys were great. Great information. That's it for this TV show. From the studio here at LynnCAM TV, I'm Sean Donahue, wishing you all the best.